Hey traders, welcome. This is just a quick analysis of Ethereum, and what we're looking at is the daily Bitfinex chart, and still below that 200-day moving average, just red trend lines down sloping, above the 50 and right around that 20-day moving average. We did break out. There's different ways of looking at this, and we're going to look at another chart in a second that really shows all the chart, but just really from the top point of that altcoin spring we had back, it was from April to May of 2018 since the dump, right? Just had anchor point 1 and 2 on the bottom, 3 on the top. We broke out of that. Got as low as like 82.49, and we've been making higher lows since then, but we have not been making higher highs. Not at all. Pretty much arguable that we're making the same high. So some people would argue that we have an ascending triangle going on, but you can also look on the 4-hour and it looks like a rising wedge to me. You get more touch points that way. But despite all that, if this is what we would call a potential bearish Gartley pattern, all right? X to A, we retrace about 61.8% of the way, sell off, and then pivot with a higher low, and then we run again, and the target for an entry on a short position is around the 786, and as you can see, we did not really get close to that, and so that's why there leaves some mystery to if we're done here, right? I mean, fortunately today, with Bitcoin dumping about 1.3% and Ethereum's down about 3%, we never fell out of that rising wedge pattern, did we? No, we just wicked off of it, and we're going to look at the 4-hour too in a second because there's a lot more going on with Ethereum. But just know that if you want a good entry for a short, it's around 190 to 200, okay, and we're just not even close yet. So, and we know with Bitcoin, even with selling off today, whatever, this is all just like, these aren't big moves, okay, and so we know on Bitcoin, between 4,400 and 5,200, that is that good, that's the golden zone, okay, from a November 7th high to the December 15th low. That's between the 382 and 618 fib nodes, and that's where we know people look for short positions at that area because that's where value is, okay? There's still just not much value where we are. On Bitcoin, I believe we've only hit the 236, 23.6% retrace. That is our shallowest retrace, so you would think there'd be more to it, especially with us double bottoming off of a channel we were in. But anyway, this is not about Bitcoin, this is about Ethereum, and currently I just think that we're in a rising wedge, just like Bitcoin kind of was in. All right, let's go to the 4-hour real quick, and then we'll go to another exchange, just like Tether real quick. So, all right, what we're really just talking about is just anchor point 1 and 2 on the bottom, and then like 1, 2, and 3, and 4 on the top, okay? Ascending triangle, if you do it, I mean, again, even from this anchor point to this anchor point, it's still going to form a rising wedge. That's it. So, like, if you're being as technical as possible, if you just do a horizontal line, you can see we exceeded it, and anyone could argue, okay, in that point. But either way, it's good because it's such a large pattern. It just gives us a good scope of vision about where big critical resistances are and real large supports are on the bottom, right? So, if the rising wedge played out, measure moves going to put you pretty much towards the bottom, right? Towards the bottom of the pattern. That would make so much sense, right? And if Bitcoin truly has topped out and we're beginning, so Bitcoin was the 786 at 4,075. That was our target for a short position. And we got as high as 4,057, 4,060. We were like literally $10, $15 off, like the perfect entry for the bearish cipher pattern that we've been in, and we've been talking about it for weeks on live stream. Check out the live streams if you're just watching this video, because we give in-depth analysis on all this stuff as it develops every day. All right, so if Bitcoin's pattern, that short played out where we hit a 382 618 retrace, this would make perfect sense if we sold off from where we are now, 137.98, all the way down to like 122. So this seems pretty likely if Bitcoin is to, if it plays out where our bearish cipher pattern played out on Bitcoin, just because we know anytime you analyze an altcoin, the rule of thumb is to always analyze Bitcoin first. Make sure you understand where it is within its pattern development, what type of retrace it's made. It's made a 78% retrace or right at it. That's how you know, hey man, we might be getting volatility soon, right? Especially if you're looking at harmonics. So so that's really what I think about in the 4 hour, right? The rising wedge, and we have a rising wedge within it, and a measured move would bring it down to the bottom trend line of the larger pattern. All right, so let's go to what I wanted to talk about real quick, just a tether chart. Go to the daily real quick so you can see it, man. This is like all-time highs. Beautiful. And how we got out of it. It all started January 13th. We had 2 anchor points up here too. That's great. And 2 down here. But we broke out December 24th, 2018, but didn't really do much, did we? We're not really making higher highs yet. Still, it's kind of like the same high here, right? Rising wedge or ascending triangle, either way, right? So we know where the resistance is, and that's right around 158, 160, okay? And you've got an upsloping support down here. And that's where we could fall to if Bitcoin dumps some more, but still, you know, I mean, we're finally getting close to the 200-day moving average, and we haven't even seen it or touched. A candle has not even touched the 200-day moving average on Ethereum since May of 2018, and that's the case with a lot of altcoins. We analyzed I think Neo yesterday, and it was the same type of situation. So finally, that slow moving average is catching up with the price action. So and we've broken out, right, of not just one downsloping channel, but look right here. We just created this new structure where the angle of descent was not as bad, meaning the selling pressure was tapering off. You know, so momentum could have been shifting. We were showing daily bullish divergence, and then we popped it. Now we're making higher lows. And so if we were to make, and we're not even going from the major high, we're going from the most discernible swing high on a daily that you see that, and that's like May 6, 2018. From that high point to low point, 370 to 549. That's your common retrace, man. I know it sounds crazy, but like that's literally just Fibonacci. This is how we would chart it traditionally on any asset, on any market, okay? That's how you just use fibs. So I'm not saying we could get there, but you know, we've seen crazier stuff, man, where it's just like, oh man, how could we ever get there? But when these things want to make major retraces, and it's not saying you're bullish, it's just saying like you make the major retrace, and at one of these areas, tons of people are watching to see if we're going to get a price action reversal to the downside, because if you see the prevailing trend right has been just bearish. So we'd run up, hit those areas, those targets, and then sell off again, maybe double bottom or make lower lows, right? But this is just a ongoing process of the market, okay? You can't be that surprised, man. We've been selling. This is the longest correction in crypto. Like, we've never had a correction this long before, and every day that goes by, it continues on, right? So from January 2018 to now, man, I mean, that's a long time for a correction. So eventually Momo's gonna shift. Traders are gonna want to get in because you're not gonna have enough shorts that see value at these areas, so they're not gonna short it, and so it's gonna run up. You know, demand will come back, and then when we start getting to the areas of value, oh my God, what, Ethereum? There's a 62% sale on Ethereum for a short. All right, man, gonna take it, and then it dumps, right? But I mean, just. You can't say people that participate in this market, if you have any optimism of being long, you can't say people haven't been patient here. This has just been long lasting, and we're finally starting to show some momentum shifts, and we plot our trend lines to show us that. So, all right, y'all, that's Ethereum. Hope you enjoyed this quick analysis on just different time scales, different exchanges, different pairs. If you did enjoy this, hit that like button, that bell, that sub. Please leave a comment in the section, or in the section below, so I can see if you want me to keep doing these. Feedback is critical. So I'll see you all on the live stream in a little bit. Until next time, respect the TA.